W5TJS.
Arnie, W5SRO.
Dave, WD5G.
Al.
KB1ZQ.
Sam, KI5SAM.
Bill, N5NUK.
Dwayne, AA5KD.
Paul, KI5Kelly. Jim, N5OHL.
Rich, WB5YBZ.
David, KJ5ABL.
Rick, N5EY.
Bill, K5QXB. Eric, E3UUF.
You need to get on the air more if you have to look at your hat. Okay, Tom, WA9AFM, stroke 5. Good morning, welcome to the club meeting. While he's getting set up, we were going to talk about field day first and then get into the regular club business, but since he's still setting up, let's start with the treasurer's report.
Alrighty, we got sent out to everybody. If anybody has any questions, I did want to note, in case you didn't notice, last meeting we allocated, or not last meeting, meeting before, we allocated $500 for field day food expenses, and I want to compliment the guys. We actually overspent by $23.39, but $100 of that was for propane, so it wasn't all for food. So they really, on the food side, they really did a great job staying under budget, and as a whole, we only went $23 over budget for field day as a whole. So congratulations.
And nobody was hungry.
Where's Tom? Tom's one of them. So
There was I think it was Terry, was $50 over for propane that we didn't anticipate. We had problems with the propane switchover valve. We'll discuss that at another time, but we had to go swap out 2 propane bottles literally Saturday morning, and that was unanticipated. So that was an extra expense that we didn't realize we were going to have.
Okay.
also,
Your staff's
also
going to
like
contact you.
bring up, I think the club needs to have a P.O. box of our own with 2 or 3 members that have keys to it. Mac has kind of donated his for many, many years, but I think we need it. And I'm going to recommend, suggest, motion, however what, that we get a box that say a UPS store, because you can not only have the mail delivered there, we can also have packages delivered there, and they'll hold them until we come pick them up. I use one for 20 years for one of my businesses, and it just, really helps. So anyway, I'll make a motion that I find a UPS store and arrange for us to have a box there.
Second.
Okay.
Question?
Yeah, I was going to ask for questions before we heard the motion, but discussion. Go ahead, Matt.
Are these open 24 hours a day?
I'll have to check on that. I know the one I go to is open 7 days a week, but they do close like at 7 o'clock
Okay.
at night.
The store I use in Norman, if I may add, the store I use in Norman on Main Street, right across from the Center Fashion Mall, is a 24-hour postal box area, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and then they close it off where the UPS store area is over to the
And let me
west.
add that my UPS store that I use, they do close, like you say, they cordon it off. And if I wanted a key to the front door, I could still get to my box 24/7. But
Yeah.
I just told them I didn't need that. So.
It needs to be centrally located, whatever.
Okay, and I agree with the UPS idea. I'm not guiding the discussion, but I think having it at UPS is good because they've got boxes at many of their offices. So if things need to be moved or relocated, all we got to do is tell them we're going to a different box number and coordinate it that way. So.
I'm going to suggest there's one like 2 miles north of here on Air Depot.
Yes, I use it.
And I've dropped stuff there many, many times. They're nice folk, and I guess my biggest complaint, they've got a tiny parking lot. But
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it would be convenient if I'm not the treasurer anymore. It'd be most of you, more of you live around this area.
Okay, so is there more discussion? Any other questions? Yes, sir.
What's the cost of that?
Well, he said he would find out.
Yeah, I need to check on that. I'm going to guess.
I have
And
a
I'll tell you
card
what
I
I did
wanna
with
look
my
at.
UPS stores. I went in and said, look, how much for
He was
5
looking at it.
years? They gave me a big discount. I paid for 5 years right up front. But I mean, a post office box is right at $100. That's what
So
Fort Hays, the PO box out in Oklahoma Park, so it's gonna be right around in there.
That's a year.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
I think mine's 110, he's trying to pay.
so.
I have all my stuff going there. It's mine.
Yes, sir.
Sam, a question on using a UPS store. They say that you're using a UPS store that's close proximity to you. New treasurer comes on board, can that be transferred to a UPS store?
That's what Steve said, I've never
Yeah.
moved mine.
So it's a mobile commitment?
It's with it's with the company. You have to make sure that there's an empty box where you're going to, but other than that, we can move it where we need to.
I've been in the same place 20 years.
So what I heard so far is you're proposing that the club get its own box. You'll research how much money it's gonna cost us. Shall we set a maximum and say $150 maximum cost? And the motion has been made that this is something that we do. The motion's been seconded. Any further discussion? Yes, sir.
What's the difference in just having it shipped to your house? Like you're a treasurer, we can just mail you our checks right to you instead of going to the post office box.
Well, part of it, I'm not gonna be treasurer forever.
Well, then we can ship it to whoever the treasurer is.
And by, I'm sorry, I had this thought too. By doing it this way, it stays with the club. It's like, it's not having to worry about who's going to be the next person up, like we've had with our officers and with our treasurer and our secretary and stuff like that. Sometimes it's like, we have an excellent group of workers. Nobody wants to be the lead. And by doing this as a club thing, like the insurance has recently been moved over to where it's not to a person for the contact, it's to the club. So if we can do this with the mailbox too, then the entity known as OCAPA has this, and it can go on without regard to who's the officers and stuff like that.
And first of all, let me tell you, I don't give out my home address. If you look on my license, it's my PO box in Piedmont. I don't publish my home address, not that you can't find it, but.
Yeah.
Another thing
But I
is,
started, but the other thing is, let's just say we get a box up here at this UPS store, and Dave needs to order something for
And that's happened, we've ordered
Peter.
a lot of stuff.
He can have it shipped to that UPS store.
And
he
not
can
have to
go
worry
get
about
it.
being at home.
It doesn't have, if it comes to my house, then we gotta figure out how to get it, and we've done that
also
before.
if stuff
So,
comes to your private residence, let's say the wife or somebody, kids or somebody picks up an envelope and doesn't know OCAPA, that mail could be put back in address unknown.
We could also use the OCAPA mailbox for the Route 66 stuff that we do. We could also use it for the field day stuff that we do.
We can have multiple keys to the box.
Mr. President, I have a question.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
So,
I'm trying to drive this on, but I want to make sure everybody has their questions done. So I don't really hear any objections, just questions. So without objection, I'm putting it to a vote. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, hand sign. Overwhelmingly approved. Thank you very much.